Well, Canada's best hockey players will not be skating at the 2022 Winter Games. The NHL has announced it is pulling out of Beijing over the rise in COVID-19 cases. NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman says, quote, unfortunately, given the profound disruption to the NHL's regular season schedule caused by recent COVID-19 related events, 50 games already have been postponed through December 23rd. Olympic participation is no longer feasible. We look forward to Olympic participation in 2026. The league will be using the Olympic break scheduled for February 6th to the 22nd to reschedule games that have been or will be postponed due to the virus. Let's bring in Mike Stevens now. He's an NHL writer for Sports Illustrated. Mike, good to have you on the program. Boy, a real hard hit to our NHL players here. Your thoughts here on the decision. Many would say this was the only way to go.
Yeah, look, the hits keep coming, unfortunately. But yes, this was the only way to go. Once this past week happened with the Omicron variant, just ripping through teams and postponing, like you said, 50 games. I mean, that's a disaster. That is that in terms of logistics and everything, that is a disaster. The schedule is already condensed. I mean, the NHL, I think, got a little too ambitious by wanting to have, and they still are planning to have, an all-star game and then a subsequent all-star break. On top of that, with the 3-week Olympic break, on top of starting the season about 2 weeks later than they normally would have, due to the COVID sort of schedule compression from last year, it was just too much to fit in. And at a certain point, even with cases rising, playing all those games in such a short amount of time would have been, dangerous to the players from an actual injury standpoint. So. Yeah. It's unfortunate, but at the same time, we have to do everything that we can to preserve public health and preserve the health of the players. And that seems to be it. Unfortunately, it's one of those things you just have to sacrifice.
Exactly. And as you say there, the health of these players is absolutely paramount, although many of them, unfortunately, Connor McDavid being one of them, of course, and Sidney Crosby really hoping to be on that Olympic ice next year in February. What is it going to mean for them? Because some of them, 2026, they may not get the chance at all.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough pill to swallow. And you mentioned Connor McDavid and Sidney Crosby. The one that I really have sympathy for right now is Steven Stamkos, because he's a top player in the game. And the last 2 times that the Olympics have rolled around when he's been eligible for it, there has been things that got in the way, whether it was a broken leg before 2014 or it was the fact that the NHL didn't go to the Olympics in 2018. So it's definitely a shame. I mean, all these mock Olympic rosters, they're going to look completely different because 4 years are going to go by. New players are going to come in the league. Old players are going to come out. Who knows what these teams are going to look like? Who knows what the sort of hierarchy in hockey is going to look like then? It's unfortunately such a missed opportunity just when we thought we were getting out of this. But like I said, unfortunately the variant is it doesn't really care about that, and so we have to do as much as we can to preserve the health.
Absolutely. And as you say there, Mike, it'll be interesting to see what those rosters do look like and who they're able to sort of pull from where in order to form these teams. We'll be keeping a close eye indeed. Mark Stevens, NHL writer for Sports Illustrated. Thank you so much for this, Mike. Stay safe.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.